You know what's funny is that one of those old adages is just you really never know what someone is going through, right? A lot of times you wait until like somebody like hits you up and stuff like that. Man, I'm not gonna, like this person never calls me, never hits me up. I'm not gonna. I've contacted that person for the last 3, 4, 5 times. They have to contact me first. Now we're just never gonna talk again. And sometimes you have that, and you go through that, or in your mind, it's just something like we conditioned to do, and all that, all while you have literally no idea that this person could be going through all type of personal stuff, health issues, family issues, things like that that's really dire to them. And this whole time you're holding back. Then sometimes in some cases, the next thing you know is rest in peace to this ex person on social media, and now you're feeling extra bad. And sometimes it doesn't get that far, but just to say, man, you really never know.
Right. Now you don't. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of ways to read that. I mean, for myself, a lot of times you just, I kind of take the mentality of like, nobody really fucking cares, like what you're going through. I mean, you look at it, it's like somebody might sympathize with you or whatever, but I feel most problems I've put myself in or had to deal with, at the end of the day, I just got to get through it myself. I'm not a prayer guy. I'm not whatever. I just have to get up and keep moving forward. And I'll generally won't necessarily talk about it to a lot of people. And you try to, when you are interacting with people, you'll kind of talk about other stuff that's not the heart of the matter, And, I mean, it's complicated. Everybody's going to deal with things their own way. But I think when you're talking, like, types of the communications you have, it's like, you reach out to somebody a few times and you don't feel like there's any energy coming back to you. It's like, all right, well, why am I making an effort to try and connect with this person?
Yeah.
And it's a fair question. We all have, there's an economic cost to everything we do, and if you're spending time with somebody, if you're trying to coordinate something with somebody and they're not responsive, like, that's your time. You can do something else with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, though, when it goes to a dark place, you feel bad about it. But I don't know. It's not something I've ever felt too badly about. I just feel that there's, that you have, kind of like cycles in life. You can be close to people at different points and you're going to move apart. And in some ways it's okay. I don't look at it like, I've never been a person like, oh, I've got to stay connected to these, 4 best friends from kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's like we have different lives, we've all taken different journeys and gotten to different places. And, I tend to, in totality, I look at the relationships that I've built along the way and value those. I didn't know you when I was 5. You weren't alive. But as we sit here today, you're an important person to me. And that's valuable. So I don't know. It's a funky thing, but again, if something goes wrong with somebody and they're really having a hard time, then you are gonna probably feel some kind of way about it. Like, is there something I could have done? Is there something I could have said? But there's another adage, like, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. And that's always stayed with me. And it's not just in terms of education. It's just in terms of kind of like life. Like, when you're ready for something, the right person's probably going to appear for that. And you can't force it on them. Like, they'll probably withdraw further from you if they're in a place where they just don't want what you're offering, whether it be friendship or, whatever, an opportunity to do something. You can't drill that into a person. They'll just resent you for it. They'll withdraw and they'll pull back.
No, I fully understand what you're saying, and you're making me feel better about not feeling
that was my goal, my
bad
friend.
about that. But at the same time, because a lot of times, and maybe you value a relationship more than that person does, or value a friendship more than that person does, but still you value it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's I don't know. It's just I guess it's a gray area, and some friendships, it goes like that, man. Sometimes it is that person reaching out to that person every time. And that's how you guys communicate.
Right.
And you know, and I don't know. Some people just take that seriously, man. Like, man, I'm just not reaching out to this person anymore.
Right.
You know, because I always have to call first, or I always have to text first.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, it's just one of those things where I don't know. I just felt like it had to be something just to be thrown out there and mentioned.
Yeah.
Not that
And different relationships are, you know, they do have a different nature. I mean, there's probably people that I reach out to more than they reach out to me, and it's just for whatever reason I feel like, you know, like a supportive or connected role to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe trying to, you know, maybe mentor them in a way or whatever, and you're just trying to check, are they good?
Yeah.
You know, where are they with things? But then you also have the other thing, though, where it's like, you know, there's somebody you haven't really communicated with in a while, and like then just something like happens and it makes you think of that person. It's like, oh wait, let me see what's up with them.
Right.
You know, and that's another kind of way that it goes about. You know, you'll be somewhere to, I remember doing this with, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Friendship, I mean, true friendship takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we talk about in the context of like relationships with women or whatever, but just any friendship does take a lot of effort. Do you remember the writer Frank DeFord? Have you ever heard of that guy?
No.
He was like a big time writer back in like the 60s, 70s and such. And he wrote a bunch of stuff with Bill Russell, the Celtics great. And they were together like talking and doing kind of an interview. And Frank made some comment to the effect of, oh, Bill, I feel like we're actually becoming friends. And Bill Russell's like, we're not friends. And the guy was kind of caught off guard. He's like, are you being a dick or not? And he kind of went on to elaborate. He said, you know, friendship takes mutual, consistent effort over time, and that's not what we are to each other.
Right.
You know, we're kind of associates or whatever, but we're not friends because we don't, you know, connect with each other that consistently, that deeply. And I mean, it's kind of insightful. It makes you think like, what is a friend? What is an acquaintance? And all these sort of different levels of the people that are in your life.
No, that's true. That's true.
I think coworkers are interesting because
Yeah.
like when you're, you know, particularly in an office setting, when you go and you have coworkers and you see them like 5 days a week and you're there all that time, you do get close.
You do, and you do all of these after work stuff, and
Right.
and you get caught up in you know, children and their personal lives and things like that. Yeah.